Welcome everybody to the Out of the Box podcast and our last episode. So let's get into it. Gotcha, everybody. This is not our last episode. It's our last episode of the season. Yes, we have one full complete season. We have done
We
1 year of
did.
this podcast. How is our 3-second acting skills? Not very great, I know. So today we
No.
wanted to answer all of your questions that you sent us, whether it was via YouTube comments or on Instagram. And that is how we're celebrating our 1 year anniversary. Cannot believe it has been 1 year. It doesn't. It actually doesn't feel like 1 year. Does it feel like 1 year to the two of you?
No, it literally doesn't.
No.
Time flies. Time is flying. The dollar words are here again. I feel like we just uploaded last year's. It's wild.
It's so fast. It is so fast. Like I literally was like, wow, it has been a full year of us just talking about dolls. And I've had such a great time doing it. And I guess we can just jump into some of our questions right away because I was like, wow, you guys asked some really good things. So the first question is from Jenny Blade. And Jenny Blade's anniversary question is, what was the doll you were most excited to get in the last year? Second part of the question is, and what was the doll of disappointment? And I like how they worded it, doll of disappointment. Who would like to go first to answer this question?
Chloe's thinking. She has that thinking phase.
Just the
I have
thinking
to
phase.
think. I have to think.
Yeah. So there was a lot of good dolls last year and a lot of not so good dolls. But I think one of the dolls that came out last year that just hit it out of the park was the Sunny and Luna 2-pack. Oh my God, that 2-pack
Mm.
was stunning. Like the price, amazing. Like the quality, the little teddy bear bag, just the clothing, all the pieces, the dolls themselves, the long nails. It gave me life. That was
Yeah.
everything to me. That really is honestly just you really do get what you're paying for. They could have easily made that like a collector set, and I wouldn't have, I would it would have made sense in my mind. It's so good. It
I
is
agree with
so
that. As I lose my voice,
good.
I agree with that for sure. I feel like that 2-pack literally just had so many check marks. You know what I mean? Like it had
Mhm.
the quality, it had the detail, it was cute. Um, it's so funny that you mentioned Rainbow High as one of your top picks because my doll disappointment of the past year is Rainbow High, but it is the newer line of the Rainbow High stuff. So for me, for the past year, I think that has been my biggest disappointment. Is I'm not happy with their switch into this younger demo glittered,
Mhm.
and so it's just so funny to see the opposites within 1 year of this super
Yeah.
high quality set where you had the detail and the fuzzy teddy bear purse, etc. And then now we look and we're like, oh, no articulation. And like, so it's very, very opposite. And for me, that was my personal biggest disappointment of the past year is definitely, I'm going to say the whole new Rainbow High line, not just one doll, the whole
You're
new
like
Rainbow
Rainbow
High line
High
is
as
just
a
not,
whole.
I'm just not vibing with it. And you know what? And it's okay. I'm saving money on that aspect at least.
Mhm.
Chloe, what was your either disappointment or
Yeah. I'm gonna I think I'm gonna have to give it because I'm still obsessed. And I'm trying to get into a mindset of like what was the doll that was like the best for me? Something that I typically don't do and I did, which
Mhm.
was I got a expensive doll when she released, and that to me was shockingly the Draculaura Vampire Heart doll. I think I'm still obsessed with
Ooh.
her. I mean, you guys know me. I don't
Mm.
typically like bite the bullet and just get the
Yeah.
doll right then and there. So for me to actually make that transaction and that purchase, that meant that I really like the
Yeah.
doll. So I think I'm gonna have to give it to her. I think she's still reigning supreme, and she was one of the better Monster High dolls that we got, within a year. Yeah, I guess you could say. Like she came out like last year, like around this time. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give it to her. As for the
Well done.
worst, I
There's
don't know.
plenty.
There's too many
There's
to count.
there's too many. Well, I'll shout out. I don't know if this is much of a shout out, but the Fancy Laguna, no, chop.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're
Which
talking
I
about.
did not like
Yeah.
the Fancy Laguna. I don't know, something about it. Just it didn't give. I guess it was like more of a premium doll because I didn't think that was more than the usual doll.
I
I don't even know what doll you're talking about.
And
oh,
as you
she
should.
was
It's
like
like she
what,
had like the long hair and she had like the
45?
mermaid dress.
45
Yeah,
was she, or
yeah, she was
$50? I'm
something
trying to
like
remember her
that.
price point.
I didn't.
I
It
didn't
didn't
like her
work for me.
either. I didn't get her. No.
I
Yeah, I
think that was a
honestly I have
disappointment.
more disappointments than home runs, I feel like, in the past 6 months for me at least. For best dolls, like I really agree with you there, Chloe. I think within the past 12 months, Vampire Heart literally just was just such an elaborate, like the dress, the hair. I liked the packaging. Like that one actually might be one of my top 10 too. Like I really,
Mhm.
really, really loved that doll a lot. Wow, what a
Yeah.
variety of responses.
No, yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, I have to base it on like dolls that I've purchased, you know? And
Yeah.
that was one doll that I did not see coming. And when she came out, I was like, I have to get her because I know if
Mhm.
I don't get her in that moment, she's gonna skyrocket in price later on, and I'm never gonna get her. And that because that was the same thing, like the same thing that I felt for the Hon Couture Draculaura,
Mm.
that one, and I never got her, and I really wanted her, and now I'm probably never gonna get her. So I'm just like, okay, it's cool. I'm like, but this one, I was like, wow, no, she like the only thing that was disappointing is that she came out after the nominations for the Doll Awards had already happened because
Um,
she would have taken Collector Doll of the Year. She would have taken that like
Yeah,
well,
for
she
sure.
technically can still kind of qualify for this year, sort of ish. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. She
Yeah.
qualifies for this year.
So
So I'm gonna be voting for her.
I know I love her. She's one of the top ones for sure. If every
Mm.
Monster High doll that was coming out right now was like that, I would have no money. So it's like the moral of the story. Ah, question number 2 is from Moonflower Fairy. I hope I said that correctly. It says for your anniversary question, what is everyone's favorite doll brand? And if that brand did not exist, which brand would you be collecting? Or would you be collecting something other than dolls if your favorite doll brand did not exist? Love you guys.
Ooh.
Mm.
I love these questions.
I know these videos are so good.
I guess I'll answer that one. I mean, favorite doll brand is so difficult for me because I don't collect just one brand. I collect all dolls, all
Mhm.
figures, all things, which is sometimes very overwhelming. I would say for the past year before the rebranding, Rainbow High really was taking over my life. So I would say for the past year, my favorite doll brand was Rainbow High. But if that doll brand did not exist and I'm trying to think back again. What have I been really buying for the past year? I would say the past few months, my life, I would still consider them dolls, but like the figures, which are going to be like the Toy City, the Pop Marts, those type of
Mhm.
things, which I know are more figures, but to me right now, I've been really vibing with those. And I feel like that has been one of my favorite dolls that I've been really into. So if Rainbow High didn't exist fully this year, then I think I would have maybe pushed even harder with those as my favorite dolls. And if I wasn't collecting that, I collect 8,000 other things, so I'd be collecting one of the 8,000 other things that I collect, which right now is beads. So, what about you 2? What are some of your what's your favorite? And then, the ones something else that you'd be collecting.
So I'm on the same boat as Elvira with the Rainbow High being my favorite. As of right now, not so much. I do like Rosetta and like the new Sparkle and Shine dolls. So I will be getting those. But if that didn't exist, which like really doesn't exist anymore right now,
Mm,
I think if that didn't exist now, I kind of want to step my toes into all like just the like the mini brand stuff. So like maybe that'll take my money now, like all the Make It minis, the mini brands, they don't take up as much space, and there's coming out with so many. Like they have
yeah.
a Hello Kitty one that I really like. That got Hello Kitty waffles. Of course, we have the Beetlejuice ones. We have birthday ones. We have one for everything. So I think if Rainbow High didn't exist anymore, I don't really collect G3 Monster High like that. I'm very selective with my G3.
Mm.
So I think my doll collecting habits would go down a bit. So I think mini brands and all like the mini Make It Mini and the Create stuff, I think that would have the what I collect the most. Yeah.
Which is still
I
doll
like
related because
that.
your dolls can have the minis to play with,
Yeah.
like the Meaver stuff. So I feel like that's in the doll realm of things too. So
Mhm.
I feel like both of us we would still be collecting doll related items because even my beads, like a lot of them are like little doll plates and
Yeah.
things. So I feel like we're
Yeah.
still it's doll adjacent. It's not dolls that we would be collecting, but it's still doll stuff. Like it's still like in that same
Mhm.
universe, I guess. How about you, Chloe?
Yeah. No, I was thinking about this question the other day. I think I thought about it a little too deeply because I would say that my favorite doll brand, I mean, like, I'm like you guys, I collect a lot of doll brands, but I was really putting myself in that space of like, what is the doll brand that I'm like actively collecting, have always loved, and that's Bratz. Bratz for me have been that like I go back to them for since childhood. So like to me, that is my favorite. I continue to collect it. I keep getting excited. And if that didn't exist, I think I would have probably like stepped more into like the Barbie realm because I still
Mhm.
really do love fashion and stuff. I don't know how it would look now if Bratz like it's crazy to think that because like if Bratz didn't exist, my name would not be Chloe. And like I would like, you know, I feel like I would be a little bit different. So yeah, I think for me, I think I would be collecting still dolls. I don't think I would completely leave that. But it would probably be Barbie, which that is an interesting world, I think, for that variant of mine to live.
I
I
No
know.
know
It's so
that
Bratz.
it's
you're all
so
wearing
funny to
brats right
think if
now.
certain things didn't exist, what would we be at? You know what I mean? Because
Uh,
for me, the longest time, like before, and this is pre-Monster High days, I didn't collect anything besides Barbie. So, and if you asked me then, oh, would you ever collect anything else? I'd be like, oh my gosh, never. I only want Barbie. So it's just so weird to see how we've transitioned in our lives as new dolls and products have come out, that we've reshaped a lot of what we're collecting and how we view stuff. Because obviously, all the many years ago, if you asked me like, "Oh, will you ever stop collecting Barbies as much?" I'd be like, "Never." And then now I'm looking at some of the Barbies and I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really interesting. I love that.
mm.
Wow, very deep. We're getting deep, you guys. We're getting deep over here. Hold on. All right, and then we also asked everybody on Instagram to ask us some questions. So let's go with Johnny. What's a question that you received via Instagram that you would like for us to
Yes.
talk about?
So this question is from Bo the Japanese Chin, and they say favorite Rainbow High line or series.
Ooh,
And I
ooh.
think
Mm.
this one for me, I think it's pretty easy. One of my favorite Rainbow High lines is the Rainbow Vision line. I just think that line is so good. I love the divas, Neon Shadow, Royal 3, those dolls just all check mark. They come with outfits, they come with accessories, they're really well done. And just
Love it.
that collection is just so good to even to display. I just love it. That's I think
Mhm.
that line was really strong. I remember we were all freaking out like in our group chat, like Chloe and Krista when they like showed that promo picture for Neon Shadow. Oh my god, I was gooped. That line was just so good. Oh my god. That brings back so many memories. So I just for me
Mm.
that's one of my favorites. Hmm.
Oh yeah.
I love
Yeah.
there's so many, it's hard to pick because I like a lot of the series that came out, like series 3 I thought was really strong. I really obviously a whole lot. I mean, I love Shadow High as a whole. I just think it's so well done. It's very interesting. I like when doll lines take a risk going like something so like grayscale, like the first way. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so insane. You know what I mean? So I like when they took a lot of risks. It's hard for me to just pick one. Like I really love Rainbow Vision. I thought Rainbow Vision was really great dolls. I mean, if I could just pick like two little dolls, like I love the twins, like the Shadow Twins, I think are just
Ooh.
great. I
Mhm.
mean, it's not really a series, but but from the Shadow High world. But yeah, I think there's just so many, it's hard to
Oh,
pick, and it's
yeah.
so wild that that was all within a 3-year span. We
Mhm.
just had so much. So it's wild. I don't know.
It's wild.
I know Chloe's
I'm
like, oh,
trying to
there's
think.
too many to pick from.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying like yes, excitement, but I'm also trying to base it off of like price point and quality and all of it. And I think I'm gonna have to give it to Rainbow High Series 3. I think
Mhm.
that line as a whole just sits really like has a really soft spot in my heart just because when I was joining the doll community, that's around the time that line was
Mhm.
starting to be announced and pop up. And that was the doll line that I got really excited for. And I made my mini out of Cheryl and Gabriella. Like, yeah. And then I don't know. I really think overall, like we had the double outfits, the price point was good. Like
Yeah.
I met a lot of amazing friends through that line. Like me and Johnny got to meet in person because of that line. And I just think like all of the stars aligned perfectly. And so I'm gonna have to give it to them. I think they will always just have like, just a special place in my heart.
I love that.
Mhm.
Oh, I mean, with it again, like Rainbow High is just it makes me so sad to see where it's at now because I'm like, oh, we've had such good memories with all
Yeah.
these doll releases from this line. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
I know.
Good question there. Good question. I love that. Chloe, what is a question that you received via Instagram that you would like to have us answer?
So my question comes from Samuel, and he asked, "What is your favorite memory from the podcast?" You want to go first, Elvira?
Oh, I love that. It's so sweet. Obviously we have a lot of great memories. I loved being able to interview people that we really love in the community. Like obviously Oscar Gracie from Just Trish was such like an iconic moment for us, I feel like. I really loved being able to sit down with Dollastic because Dollastic obviously is a huge part of the doll community over the past 10 years. And I loved seeing one of my other big memories is just seeing all of the comments, especially on the Dollastic video where a lot of people were just like so
Mhm.
excited. I just love seeing the comments in general over the past year and the growth and how people really look forward to these episodes, which makes me feel terribly guilty when most of the time why we're delayed on posting is me. I'm like, everyone's looking forward to this, and I'm delaying it because of work and life. But I would say my favorite memories are those. Like I love the sit-down interviews, which I would love to do more of, and also the comments of people just very much loving just people sitting down and talking about dolls. And I mean, we're nothing fancy here. We're not, obviously not on a huge $1 million set. We're not, I'm not an insane great editor, as we know. But I think it comes down to the content, which is just the community and being able to sit down and talk about dolls. And I think that's my biggest take back from from the past year is just being able to see everybody really engage and really be positive, and really just being able to like let their hair down type of situation and be like, I don't like this doll either. Or I like this doll too. So I think that's my biggest takeaway. How about the two of you? Anything stand out in the
Mm.
past year for either of you?
So my favorite memory from the podcast, I wouldn't say I would pinpoint a specific one, which I do like when we talked about how the Polly Pocket clothes was delicious. That was a good memory. But I think overall, one of my favorite memories is just getting to know both of you more because I really
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah.
how we just have these conversations every week, and it's like it's so much fun. I look forward to doing these so much. So just getting to know each other, getting closer, and it's like I really would have never thought I would even have a podcast with you and like Chloe. It's just like it's such a beautiful moment, and piggybacking to what you said that people are just really loving the show, and I think that's just it's such a good memory for me that like just like seeing everyone's comments like, oh my god, we love this, or when people tag us on Instagram that they're watching. It's just it
Mhm.
makes me feel so happy that like we even can do this show. Just like thank you, Elvira, for even giving us the platform, like sharing your platform so we could even
No,
do
thank
this
you
show. Like
for wanting to
it
partake
is so
in
cool.
this.
It is so cool. I think that's one of my favorite memories and like the best takeaways I have from just this whole anniversary episode that I'm just grateful.
Aw, I love that.
Yeah,
No, thank you for
that's
wanting to
sweet.
partake in this and working for dolls. I really appreciate that. And
Which
wanting to
we're
be
working for
here.
beads now, but
And beads. Oh yeah, Chloe, I have to send you your bag. I saw your list. Which there's a few that I was confused on. I was like, wait, which one
oh
was that?
moon,
But
you sent me.
but I'll get you your claims, everybody. You'll get your claims. How about you, Chloe? Which what memory or memories stand out for you?
Wow, I think you guys have summarized it pretty well. I mean, like, it's kind of the same thing, right? Like, for me, my favorite memories are being able to look back on how we started the podcast a year ago and how it's going and how the community has really, like, grown. Like you guys said, people really enjoy these videos slash hearing us talk about dolls because they don't feel alone. And I love that. I love that we get to comfort other people, all the listeners, and, be in a way with them and having these conversations. And then they let us know their opinions in the comments. And I love going through the comments and reading what other people have to say. And it's always, most of the time, really respectful, way. It's never like a negative thing. I love how people say, I'm gonna disagree with you on why you don't like this doll, because I like this doll, but it's never like in a mean way. And I
Mhm.
really do appreciate just everyone who is listening and liking and commenting and just like engaging with us. And like Johnny said, like I would have never thought this was gonna be a possibility. Like if you could have told myself back in like 2000 and who knows when, watching one of Elvira's videos, one day you're going to be on that channel hosting a podcast with Elvira and Johnny, like I would have never believed it. So like it's really like the little things that make the dream come true. And I'm very excited to get into this new season and hopefully have more guests and whatever entails for us, you know? But
Oh,
yeah.
I love that. So we had some good questions. I love these questions that we've been
Yeah.
getting. That's great. Honestly, like I agree with everything that we're all saying. You know what I mean? Like it's just so many things have stood out in the past year and it's all been really positive. And I hope we continue to have a lot of positive vibes here
Yes.
too. Um,
Mhm.
let's go with something a little lighter, not as emotional. I'm gonna ask one of the questions that I received, which it's Bratz, but with an E. Bretz? Is that how you would say it? It's yes, mean Bretz from Instagram, and I hope I did not butcher that name. Okay. If you could have any doll made from a movie, TV, book, or your imagination, what would it be? And I love that question because there's so many like recently, and I'm just gonna go with two off the top. Well, actually, there's like three off the top of my head. Somebody posted recently that Debbie from Adam's Family Values, I was just playing by Joan Cusack in the film. That needs to be a doll. Like she's beautiful. I love the blonde bob. I love when she walks down the stairs and she's wearing that feather like lace satin or no, excuse me, like feathered satin robe. And it's just I feel like a Debbie doll would be amazing. Obviously, I feel like it's a little obscure, but I think that would tie in for the Monster High world when it comes to like Morticia and Wednesday. So Debbie, you need a doll. I love that. Death Becomes Her. Somebody else sent me a message and was like, that
Oh,
would be a great doll. And I was like, yes,
mhm.
they would be great dolls. Like a two-pack, and one doll would have her arm like holding, like just like the movie cover, like through the other doll. I'm like, I would live. So Death Becomes Her, I think is just basically anything from the early 90s, I would be so much in love with. Again, very obscure. Will any of these ever realistically be dolls? Probably not. But in my imagination, they exist. And I would love to see those. Like just really like obscure 90s films of these very villainous, like evil women or very like camp over the top, like Death Becomes Her. I think stuff like that would be great. I would love that. I would live. I would live. How about the two of you?
Yeah.
Anything that really is just you're like, I want that, even though it may never happen. But
Yeah, so for me, I love Beetlejuice so much. They made Beetlejuice dolls, but I think for me, one of the characters that I really really love, and it's like they have their own song in the musical. They're not really a big part in the movie, but it's just like Miss Argentina, the icon
I
that you are. I love Miss Argentina.
thought
I
you were
feel
gonna
like
say
Mm.
Lydia. I thought or Lydia, not Lydia.
we
Excuse me.
have a Lydia doll. We have
Yeah, I was
Lydia.
gonna say like
I'm
like
like
in a different Lydia or something,
I'm
and I
like,
was like,
Lydia, move aside. We need Miss Argentina. I love her. I love her in the movie. Just that little couple lines she has, the iconic look, amazing. The song for the Broadway show, I am obsessed with that song. I know it word for word. If it's it was those memes, it's all like if you have one song, you have to sing it completely correctly, you get $1 million. That's the song I'm choosing. I just I
ooh, okay.
I just I love her so much. She is my number one that I would want to make a doll. Like as I thought of that question, I'm like, the first thing that popped in my head was Miss Argentina. I'm like, I feel like she would work really well as a doll, as it I
I
guess
can see
she would
that.
work well as a Monster High doll,
Yeah,
but
I can see that too.
also Rainbow High I feel like would be good. But yeah, I could see if it were to happen, make it happen, Monster High, please.
I could definitely see that because I feel like with like her skin tone and the hair color and the outfit and the like, I could see Monster High really being able to capture that doll very well because she is
That's a good one. Yeah.
like she's undead or otherworldly, I guess you can say. Like, yeah, I could definitely see that. Oh, I would love that. Oh, that's a
Oh,
good
that would be
one.
so good. Yeah. I was gonna say you guys should probably say never, because never say never, because I mean it could possibly happen in the future. I never thought we would
True.
see all of the like horror slasher type of movies as dolls for Monster High, and now we have that.
That's true.
So, and I know, like, while, like, way back when Monster High was starting, I know a lot of people were like, oh, when are we going to see these characters in Monster High? But they never thought that it could happen. So, who knows? It might
True.
happen. Yeah. As for me, I think I was really, I'm like struggling with this question just because, like, a lot of the dolls that I like are already like made from things that I like. But if I could pick something that I wish was a doll or from a cartoon movie or whatever, I think I'm gonna say the Corpse Bride or Coraline. I really think,
Yes. Yes.
especially the
Love
Corpse
that.
Bride, I think the Corpse Bride would work so good as a Monster High collector doll. I think if they know how to do it well, they'll do it well. But
Mhm.
I think that would be such a pretty doll. Like,
Mhm.
oh my god, yes. The same with Coraline. I feel like Coraline is just so underrated, and I know that there are Coraline dolls, but they're not like fashion dolls.
Yeah, they're
So I,
figures. They're figures.
yeah, I would love to see a Coraline like fashion doll, just like how they did Lydia or the
Mhm.
the twins. I don't know the what are they called? The
The Grady
Oh, the
twins?
Grady
twins?
twins.
Yeah, the
The
Grady
Grady
twins.
twins.
I feel like they could use literally one of those dolls to just make Coraline, literally. But yeah, I'm gonna say those. I'm gonna say
I'm
those.
gonna be surprised if Monster High doesn't make one of those two because I feel like A,
Yeah.
it's Tim, like Corpse Bride's Tim Burton. Tim Burton's so popular. Obviously, they've done Night Before Christmas, and obviously that was popular. So I would be very surprised if they don't do at least one of those in the next year or two, assuming that Skeletor keeps going as it's going. But yeah, no, I love all this. Honestly, I love all of the choices. All of those choices are great. I love how we picked all like horror related movies.
Yeah.
Uh, you can
Let's
tell we all have the
manifest.
same likes in that realm.
Yeah.
Honestly,
They're coming out next year.
more.
We're manifesting every single
Right?
monster doll is gonna be what we said.
Literally. Oh my god, literally, because like Beetlejuice, we have the Beetlejuice 2-pack, and
Yeah,
we could have like a second little, moment for Miss Argentina and
I mean,
all
since the movie's coming out,
yeah,
we're
it's
getting
true.
some Beetlejuice spotlight, so
that
maybe.
part.
Maybe that's a good point. Yeah. Honestly, I'm excited for
Monster
that.
High.
You know what I would love to see? You know how like Barbie does the cutie reveal and they're doing Care Bears? What if they did a Teletubby reveal?
Oh my god, that
Yes,
would be
please.
so camp.
That would be, move over. I'm getting the whole shelf, everyone.
Yeah, that would
Because
And
be
like,
TikTok is being
good.
so
yeah,
popular right now and doing
mhm,
so great. Like I love their like reels on Instagram and stuff.
hilarious.
Hilarious.
Hmm.
I want them to be a doll. Like them as a cutie reveal would maybe be like
Yes.
Yeah.
ever.
I could see that. Honestly, I could see that. I could also see it with like the Muppets and Sesame Street. Like I can see like that
Ooh,
vibe.
yes, yes, yes.
I also want to see like more horror. I want to see more horror dolls. I really
Yeah,
enjoy like
I
the
love it.
Chucky and Tiffany and can I make a ghost face? Could she have a
Yes, if
long
they had a
blonde
ghost face.
ponytail? Like
Yeah.
yes, a
Mm,
ghost
Mm.
face. Like I'm still waiting for that Freddy Krueger Jason 2-pack. Like
yeah.
mama, get
Oh
with the
yes. Give
program.
us Jigsaw. I really want Jigsaw.
Alien versus Predator. No, I'm
Hmm.
that
I
would be
mean,
oh, can you imagine like
yes.
the Predator like helmet thing, right? And then a
Yeah.
gorgeous gown underneath.
So spacey, like, oh my god, that would be everything. I want to see more of that. I would also love to see more drag queen dolls. I know we have like the
Yeah.
Trixie doll and the RuPaul doll. I know Manila did her own thing. I know they have like their own stuff. I want to see more.
Yeah,
I
me too.
really, I was so obsessed with. I don't know if you guys saw Doll Explodore's custom Trixie Mattel
The
doll
Trixie.
out of a
Hmm.
rainbow.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yes.
so good, so good,
So
and
good.
yeah, I just want to see more. I want to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
More
more.
I love
collabs.
good point though. Yes, yes. Any drag queen dolls here for that all day. Love it. Oh, that was so many good questions. But I think I have a
Mm.
question for us. What would we like to see from the podcast going forward into the next year? For me personally, I love doing the interview aspect. So I think I would like to have more interviews of different people on the show. And obviously, like I would love to have like sugar and spices. I'm just throwing that out there. You know what? Put that energy out there. Manifest. I think that would be great because they're obviously dog collectors and they're in the dark queue. So it's like for us, it's like, oh, like everything perfect. But yeah, I would like to have more interviews. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's showing people different sides of themselves in a sit down format. So that's what I would like to see. What would you two like to see in the future of the podcast?
Yeah, I think I'm on the same wave as you. I'm interested to see what kind of guests we can have for season 2. I think if we were to have one of my dream guests, I would probably like James Mansfield. If you're watching, please come
Oh,
on. I love
Mm,
James. I collect dolls. They got the RuPaul doll.
yes. Yes.
So I just feel like James, we would have such a good time on the podcast.
I
So I
love
think
that.
James would
Mm,
be a really good one.
Oh, I love that. Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
I think we're all on the same link. Like we're all thinking the same thing. Cause like for me, same. I want to see more like I want us to do more interviews with people and get more POVs from their perspective. Maybe like things
Mhm.
that we don't collect that they collect. I want to see a little bit more of that. I would love to have Toya for my froggy stuff on here with us.
Oh, I would love
I
that.
feel like it would be because she's so like into the crafting world, but she's also into the doll world. I would love to like hear more about that and hear more about her story and stuff. I want to hear more stories from collectors. Like
Mm,
I would
agree.
love to get more of our doll friends on here and just talk to them and like get to know them a little bit more because I feel like we don't really have super deep conversations with a lot of our doll friends. And when we had Matt on the podcast, I learned a lot about
Yeah.
him that I didn't know, and
Mm.
we got to, learn a little bit more about him. The same with Dollastic. I feel
Yeah,
like,
no, that to me was
yeah,
really eye-opening, you know what I mean? Because there are so many other elements. I think a lot of doll collectors are like, "Oh, you're just into dolls." But honestly, like, look how many layers everybody has. So I think that's a great point to bring up is that everyone is an onion, including doll collectors. And there's so many other things that,
mm,
whether you collect or you're into, or to me, I love hearing like how people got into collecting, I think is one of my favorite
mm,
questions. Because
yeah,
I've noticed there's some similarities with it, whether it's like a family member getting them into it or they're seeing like their siblings play. But sometimes it's like something so one off too. So that I agree. I feel like that's our what we would like. So if you guys want to see anybody on the show, tag them like crazy and tell them that they need to be on the Out of the Box podcast so that they want to
mhm.
come to us and be on the show. That would be great. That would be great. Manifesting. Is there anything else that I left out of this episode? I feel like we had a really good this was fun. Honestly, I
Yeah, it was a
enjoyed
lot of
Yeah,
fun.
not talking about dolls, you know what I mean? Like, not talking about doll news, just, like,
yeah.
talking about doll stuff, was a lot of fun and everything, so I love it. But I'm excited to see everyone's comments and what everybody wants to do. Oh, wait, should we do an out of the box moment this week? Are we feeling that? Do we have an out of the box
Mm,
moment that we would like to add
I
today?
don't know if I have anything.
I know. I'm
You
trying
know
to think
what? We're gonna
too.
skip it today. We're gonna skip it.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna skip our out of the box because our out of the box is that we want this podcast to continue and grow, and we're excited to see what's gonna happen. That's our
Yeah, so
for
like
all
if
of
we
us.
had an out of the box moment, the only thing I've been working on is the Doll Awards. So
Yeah. Oh,
keep
yeah. Yeah.
Same.
that
Make sure to
out.
follow everybody. Lots of stuff getting revealed over the next couple weeks for the Doll Awards. The link in the description below will take you to the Instagram page, and you can see all the great work that Johnny and Chloe have been putting into that. But I'm excited though. Again, we have so much planned, and I think the next year will be really good for the podcast. So manifesting. Woo!
Manifesting.
Until next time, make sure to check us out, of course, here on YouTube. And then anywhere where you can hear podcasts, Spotify, when we're on Amazon, Booker, Anchor, all those obscure ones as well. Apple too. So make sure to listen to us or watch us on here and then throw something in the comments. We love seeing what you guys want to talk about. All right, until next time, happy 1 year anniversary, everybody.
Happy
Bye.
anniversary! Bye.